Hello and welcome to Stahls TV Facebook Live edition. We're glad that you are here with us today. Also, we are going to be, make sure you say hi, chat in there. And also, we're first time we're going live on Instagram. We'll see how that works out. So all of you Instagrammers, welcome as well. So today we're talking about Cadcut sign vinyl. Now there's a whole lot of different names for this particular product, as it says in the description. Everything from sticky vinyl, is which a lot of our crafters know it as, or pressure sensitive sign vinyl, or adhesive vinyl. There's all these different types of names for this product. It's all the same thing. It's been here for a long time, and it's called sign vinyl for a reason, because it was original use was for signs. So we have a lot of different applications for this type of product. We're going to talk specifically about our Cadcut sign vinyl that Stahls offers. And we call it Cadcut sign vinyl permanent PS pressure sensitive. It's sign vinyl. It's a 3 mil product. It is a 5-year product as well, so outdoor warranty for 5 years. And it's good for hard surfaces, flat surfaces, because this is a calendar vinyl. There's 2 types of vinyl out there, calendar and cast. Cast is the more expensive stuff, has a longer warranty. It's more for complex curves, and so you can actually heat it with a heat gun. But this is mostly for the most part, general curves and for flat, hard surfaces. Nice thing about it, compared to what you're working with HTV, it's extremely more affordable. So it's a fraction of the cost of HTV. It's very easy to cut and weed. Again, it's a 3 mil. I'm using about the same settings as I would say for the Fashion Film or Premium Plus, any of those materials, because they're about the same thickness, but it is a sticky. One thing I will say about this type of material, if you are a decorator, an apparel decorator, the first time, if you're new to this, you're going to be so regimented to reverse your image. Don't do that with a sign vinyl. It will be backwards. You cut this one in the positive. All right, so beautiful material, and it's a great way to add on sales. But as far as accessories go, what all do you need? Well, a vinyl cutter. If you have a vinyl cutter, then you're already in business. Beyond that, you're going to need maybe a weeder, just like you already have. You'll need a squeegee, just to apply the application tape, and the pre-mask. That comes in different sizes. This is basically what we would call application tape or pre-mask tapes, sign vinyl tape, very light tack. This particular tack on this is very light, so it sticks to the vinyl to take it off the carrier, but it's not as aggressive as the adhesive on the vinyl itself, so it comes off easily. All right, so why even go there? Why would I even consider bringing on sign vinyl? Add-on sales. Everybody wants to make more money. You've got a number of customers coming in who are looking for some of these type of decals, stickers, whatever you want to call them. And it's, like I said, the margins are much higher because the material is so much more affordable per foot, per square foot than heat transfer vinyl. But we're not trying to make sign people out of all of you, because our bread and butter is heat transfer apparel decoration. But add-on sales for folks who are looking to take, you got a great logo there. We just put a great left chest logo on your shirt. You know what? You should really have some window decals on your car. This would be perfect. It's a great fundraiser. It costs pennies to produce a simple window decal. I challenge you to look around a parking lot and see if you can find any vehicle that doesn't have some sort of decal on it. So the market is out there, especially when you talk about schools and businesses. So add-on sales, especially when you're into sports. Not only are we going to do the uniforms, but now we're going to start talking about doing helmets and a lot of different hard goods that we can decorate with that. And you already have the cutter already, so there's not a major investment. So without further ado, let's move to the cutter. We're going to go ahead and do a quick demo of cutting the vinyl. I will say about the particular material that we have here, the Cadcut sign vinyl, comes in a 24-inch wide roll and over 30 colors. So you've got plenty of options there. Let's go ahead and send a quick design to the cutter. Again, this is in the positive. Do not mirror. And I'm just going to step up front to make sure that I have my origin set. There we go. I'm cutting this at about 80 grams of force, using 30 centimeters per second on the Roland GS24. We'll go ahead and do a quick design here. This is a little bit busier design than most. What we're producing here is a point of purchase display. So in other words, this is inside your store. You want to advertise a sale or a listing of a particular type of product. And once this comes off here, now of course my mom teaches me not to waste, so I could fit 2 designs on here, so we're actually cutting 2 on this one. It'll also help if I mess one up, I'll have a backup. All right, so Taylor tells me that there is a question, and she doesn't realize that my eyes are so bad I can't see that, so she's going to have to read it off to me so I can answer one.
They're asking if you're going to offer patterns.
We're going to offer patterns. Oh, you jumped the gun on me. Are we going to offer patterns was the question. Well, believe it or not, we're launching pattern sign vinyl tomorrow. So this will be an offering as well. So our patterns are wildly popular when it comes to the HTV. We've got a crazy amount of options for you there. A lot of those same patterns are going to be available now in the Cadcut sign vinyl. So Cadcut sign vinyl patterns launches tomorrow. All things being equal and God willing, that everything goes off smoothly. But so that's an exciting time. So patterns, just like you know, with your heat transfer vinyl, you're able to cut some really cool images inside of a design, make things more effective when it comes to overall. Well, I wish I'd have used a smaller design. There we go. Go ahead and advance this forward. Let's see where we are here. Oh yeah, we overdid that. Okay. Taking this over to the workstation. Now I did mention some of the tools that you would need would be a squeegee and a weeder and the pre-mask. I'm working on the top of a cutting mat here too. This is a really nice thing to have if you're going to be doing much of this at all. A lot of the grid on here in a different measurement increments. And it's also a self-healing mat. So I'm going to use, when I want to cut something off very straight, I'll use a straight edge much like this and a rotary cutter so I can actually cut perfect lines. That's how people do that. Nobody has that good of an eye. So using the proper tools to make that look good for you. Just like in heat transfer vinyl, when you're peeling this, you're going to want to, and I use a detailed logo. I should have cut from the other side, but weeded from the other side, because you always want to weed into those open cavities, but we'll work around this for now since I already started this side. And you want to pull it more horizontal than straight up, so you don't run the risk of lifting something up. And a little bit of a wiggle all the way too. That works in both cases for heat transfer vinyl as well as sign vinyl.
I have a few questions.
Go ahead, shoot what you got there.
First of all, what material is this that we're cutting?
This material we're cutting here is the Stahls Cadcut sign vinyl. It's a 3 mil, 5-year warranty, solid color vinyl.
They wanted to know what settings you use.
Yep, we used the 80 grams of force. We're just going to deal with one side here so I can move on. 80 grams of force. I chose to use like 30 centimeters per second as far as the speed goes. It can handle it a little more. It's not necessary to slow it way down. Any other questions?
They're asking if it's available in rose gold.
It is available in rose gold. No, right now we're looking at the very, very basic type of colors. I will say that, and I don't know all the ins and outs of the new program as far as the launching the patterns. There is an option for solid color vinyl. You could actually color match. There'll be a color palette there that you can choose from. I don't know if rose gold will be part of that, but I'm sure there's something that's close to that. But no, rose gold is not a specific option. We're looking at the basic colors. Because remember, you're doing signage for the most part, and these are very bold, very brilliant. This is kind of like the Crayola Grade 8 Packers, not all the way to 64 by any stretch. So we've already, we've got this cut. I guess I don't have to show you, looking from the top. Already cut. This is my point of purchase sign. We're going to use a pre-mask. Pre-mask, I have one already pre-cut here. Pre-mask comes in different sizes. We've got available one about like this, and then there's a 24-inch, which I've used a little bit. And there are a lot of different options out there as far as what we carry, just a smaller, narrow, like a 3 or 4 inch roll, and then the larger one. The nice thing is when you're working with just a small roll, let's do a quick understanding here, and I have, if this is bigger, say I was trying to go on this, but I already have a piece for this, I could actually use this piece, lay it on top, I won't do it here, lay it on top of there, and just keep stacking them. You know what I mean? Just, oh, that's not going to work out well. This way, and then just keep overlapping them so I can actually felt the whole deal. Let me see if I can rescue this now that I've tried to multitask. Please cut away to commercial now. Just want to get this off here if I can. And now it's already picking it up. And so one thing, this is a good lesson, is be real careful, because you want to pick it up if you touch it, because that's what it's designed to do. We made the rescue. Push down the little E again. We're saved. All right, so we are going to utilize what I just told you we were going to do. Utilize these so we don't waste any more time. Go across here. Overlap them. Not a big deal. All you're trying to do is lift this up. So if I like having a smaller roll rather than a big one. It's easier to work with. Big sign companies will have a tape dispenser over here on a reel. They can pull it out, and they have cutters and things they can apply it with, because they're doing much, much more larger designs than what you're typically going to be doing. Quick squeegee. I didn't take a lot of care here as far as making sure it was bellowed down in the middle so that it hit and fell off to the sides, just because it was a very open type of design. So there wasn't a little chance for anything to bubble in there. I'm ready to lift that off. Now, 2 ways to go. Let me just show you real quickly, and I'll pull this off first. I'm putting this on a Coroplast. Coroplast is just that vinyl type of corrugated, looks like corrugated cardboard that's made out of actual vinyl. This is what you do a lot of signs with. All the road signs you see, the election signs, yard sale signs, all those things, typically made of that product. I believe that I could probably just peel this off and lay it directly on top of here. There's a couple different methods. If you're worried about getting something perfectly straight and aligned and not sticking to itself, because it can be a little tricky on bigger designs. This one's small enough, but we'll do the same principle here. What I've done, it's important that you're laying out, when you're doing signage and things like this, you lay it out in advance. I've basically measured from here to here and saw that I have a 12-inch sign. So I went to the center and made a mark here and here. I've already done that for you. I've also done that here and given us the same center of this 10-inch design. So now I'm just going to lay this on top, get it as centered, line up those 2 sets of lines, the center lines and center line. That was measured off of a square edge, so it should be pretty darn straight. And also keep in mind, if these are larger outdoor signs, you've got some forgiveness. If something's off just a little smidgen, you're not going to have an issue. Yes, you probably haven't heard smidgen for a while. I'm going to go ahead and tape this on. We're taping it in the center for a reason, and I'll show you here. I'm going to go ahead and peel back. So what I'm trying to do is not have to deal with this whole thing and have it stick to itself, pretty much like my mask almost did. Peel this part back. This is called the Hinge Method. Again, typically on larger designs, but it's a little easier for me to show you this way. And then we just tear the paper halfway down. And I'm going to let this go here. Now, big design like this, instead of just rolling it down, I will take my squeegee and just work my way just lightly to get it engaged. And then I'm going to do the reverse. I don't need the tape anymore because that has already been adhered to the other side, or to the actual pre-mask. Then we're going to peel this one off. Again, this is just paper backing. Something else to consider, unlike heat transfer vinyl, this is actually paper. It's like a wax type of paper. So when you're cutting, getting your cutting depth on this one, you want to make sure that you get it pretty accurate. You got some forgiveness with HTV. If you cut a little too deep, it's not going to be the end of the world in most cases. But with this, you could actually delaminate the paper. And when you're cutting too deep, you're actually going to cut into that paper, and then some of the paper will come up as you're trying to lift it up. All right, so make sure all those little dots, I didn't do myself any favors by making this so detailed, but I did want to show you that you can do detail with this. Again, we're peeling this off. We're going to be more horizontal than not, starting from the corner. And there you go. And to quote Larry the Cable Guy, here's your sign. Everything's 50% off, by the way, so get your shopping in now. So this is great for this type of thing. Point of purchase sales. We talked about yard signs. I'm not going to spend the time here because I can see I'm running longer than I would like by the time we get through everything. I've already done one. I use the same exact method, that Hinge method. Making a yard sale sign out of the same coroplast. Makes me want to go shopping. What else can you do? Why sign vinyl? What else can we use it with? We mentioned helmets. You're in the sports industry. Let's do this. Let's do it. Decorate a batting helmet. Now, in a lot of cases, squeegee is important. I mentioned that was a big deal. Have the squeegee available. I'm going to flip this around so I actually see what I'm doing. But I'm just going to put the team letter on the front, the initial. In this case, a B that kind of looks like it might be ripping off the Boston Red Sox logo. It just happens to be a Tiffany font. And I'm going to center it as much as possible. I apologize if this isn't perfect camera work, but I do need to be able to see it. So we'll center it. And here, instead of a squeegee, your thumbs are your best friend. Now, there are different types of vinyl out there too. We mentioned cast and calendar, but with some types of material, and we'll get into this in a little while, there's what they call a low energy surface that's not as slick or hard, and so you might have to get a different type of adhesive. So not every sign vinyl is not going to stick to every thing that you've got out there. So once that's applied, you just peel that off.
Couple questions, Bob,
What do
from
you got?
Instagram
What-
Live.
Mhm.
And whenever they're using this on, say, wine glasses or any type of glass that they would need to put into a dishwasher, how does it hold up in the dishwasher, or is it recommended to put in there?
Yeah, the question was, if you could actually hear, but from Instagram we had the question, if we're going to put this on wine glasses or anything else, which we're about to show here, how long do you have to have it? Does it have to cure before you can put it in the dishwasher, or do you put it in the dishwasher at all? The safe answer is just hand wash them. I worry about more the chlorine in the dishwasher, that type of thing, and the excessive heat that's in there. So hand washing these type of things makes more sense, especially when you get into, and a lot of the things like this particular tumbler that we're looking at here, those are typically hand washed anyway. Even the manufacturer says just rinse with soapy water, warm water, and hand dry it. So that's what my recommendation is. But for something to be permanent before you actually even hand wash it, 24 hours makes sense. It'll give that adhesive a chance to cure. We're going to personalize this particular helmet with the player's number as well. I've cut out the number 22. It's impossible for you to see until I actually apply it. Again, thumbs are my friend. That's it. So I get it rubbed on there. This will cure and it will harden. Even with you using like a removable sign vinyl, they say you can reposition it, it's removable to a degree. Eventually, after a certain period of time, that adhesive will harden and become even more permanent. So there you go. The back of the helmet has been decorated with personalized with number 22, and of course the front with the team logo as well. Another great application for it. We mentioned the tumblers. I've already pre-decorated this one. I could do it again. And again, all I did was take my thumbs and rub this design on. This happens to be Jenna's coffee. So she'll be scarfing this up after this presentation's over, I'm sure. But this is a nice gift idea. Those who are pinning on Pinterest, that type of thing, this type of stuff sells like crazy. And as the cooler the design, the more personalized it is, the more opportunities you have there. I'm going to do another one. And again, this is one that I mentioned. I've kind of found out the hard way that this is one of those low energy surfaces that I would probably stay away from. It's kind of a rubberized. I didn't notice it when I picked it up, but it is a kind of a rubberized type of feel. It will stick to it. It's probably not going to stick to it permanently. I already got a pre-cut and pre-weeded and masked design. It's because you don't need to watch that part. You just want to see the fun. And just really clever sayings make this stuff, especially if you're talking about retail and gift type of things. Do your best to center it. Make it even. Rub it on. Maybe overdoing it here, but I have some pretty fine detail here. If I really feel like I need to put some pressure on it, then I'll throw a squeegee on top of it once I've got it engaged. Again, the trick is to pull more horizontally than up. And there you go. Give me a tight shot on that one. No coffee, no worky. And I like, typically when you're talking about visibility for signage and things like that, a light background with a dark or darker full color logo or deep color logo is the most readable. But I kind of like in this case, kind of the negative thing where you've got the actual dark mug with the white. That stands out as well. So there's a lot of rules of thumb. You want to stay away from unreadable fonts for the most part, unless you're doing Jenna's Coffee. Nobody cares. That's that hand script, that's that scripty type of handwritten type of font. One more to do, and then I'll let you go. The number one use for sign vinyl in my mind is car decals. Everybody's got a car decal. Everything from my kid's an honor student, mother-in-law's in the trunk. Whether it's just a baseball with my kid's number inside of it, that type of thing. But also, anybody who's been to Outer Banks, something like that, started the craze of the circle, the oval logo. It says OBX in there. Well, we've got one that won't come off.
People on Instagram are saying like car decals are their fave. Just Cop Tea says that that's their fave, and then using it for glass, such as like wine glass.
Yep. Car decals and etched glass, because there's all different specialty type of things. And when they're talking about etched glass, is actually a vinyl that's kind of translucent. It's like a frosted type of look that you can actually put on a wine glass. And it looks like it's been sandblasted or etched. Not something here. These are all specialized type of things. Again, we're just trying to get the introduction to this and use it for its basic uses. Once you get into this, you'll probably have a lot more opportunity and see what else is available to you out here. I'm pretending this is a car window and we're just doing the STV. Again, you sell these to your customers, they can apply it themselves. They don't need any special tools. That squeegee could easily be a credit card or a hotel room key, as I've used at trade shows. So we'll just lay that bad boy on there. Quick squeegee. Peels off. Now remember, this is, again, the outdoors on this is designed to last 5 years. So it's, and we don't want it to last any longer than that because we'd like to make them another one. So you literally could sell that to your customer, this car decal logo that they can put on the back, on their car, on the side window, etc. And they can apply it themselves when they're small like this. So you get the bigger ones and they're actually doing some lettering on an office door or something like that. That's going to require somewhat of a professional as far as that, because there's a lot of layouts involved. There's a lot of tricks in there. There's also a thing called a wet application we didn't talk about. We did the Hinge application, which allowed me to deal with half the design at a time and chase the squeegee off to the one side or the other. But when I'm doing, say, a two-color logo, because this can be layered. If I'm doing a two-color application, I'm layering them, the best way to align it, because you have to line them up perfectly. And so if that thing sticks, you're done. you're not going to be able to get it back off of there. So what we do is we use a soapy solution, or there are products out there designed just for this, Rapid Tech and Rapid Prep and all those things. But honestly, a squirt bottle with a couple drops of dishwashing liquid in it, just a slight soapy solution, wet that area down, that when you get it, you can pick it up and move it as many times as you want, because it still is kind of floating on a little bit of that misty water on there. Once I squeegee it out, and that water gets squeezed out of there, and then eventually it dries and cures just like anything else, so it's going to be a good application. So that's another way to do two-color. Jenna, you have a question?
Yeah, question, is it made of PVC?
It is PVC, typically PVC, yes. Yeah, she has a question. Go ahead.
Do you have clear transfer tape for selling decals before they're applied?
Clear transfer tape. Right now, this is a fairly new product for us. We are typically offering just the paper mask right now, but clear transfer tape is out there. And to be honest with you, it's nice. It's nice to be able to see the logo more clearly, so you're not looking through translucence. You're seeing the actual logo where it goes. Yes.
Do you have any tips for applying without bubbles?
Yeah, be careful. Tips without bubbles. Tips for applying something without bubbles. Always squeezing from the inside out, chasing all the air to the outside. If you get a chance, do get a bubble in there. You can usually squeeze it out using the edge of the squeegee, kind of pushing it with a hard edge this way. Making sure that you, like again, not putting the bubbles in there to start with. So an easy. Real careful application on the front end, so that you're kind of hitting the center and going out to the edges, and not letting it totally engage until you mean it to. It's tricky. It's not the end of the world. The wet application helps tremendously, because if you get that in, you say, "Ugh," you can pick it back up and then kind of chase it back down.
Can you talk about the transfer tape sizes and why you chose the small roll again?
Transfer tape sizes, right now we're handling, and I'll be honest with you, this is, well, I'll tell you what, I can measure it. I have all the tools. Yeah, it is 3.5 or 3.25 here. That's the smallest one. Then there's a 24-inch one. We don't have anything in between. I have from a previous life a 12-inch roll here that's available. In the broader market, they come in a lot of different increments. I like using the smaller one because it's easy to manage. You saw the issue that I had when things were touching itself, when I was trying to do too many things at one time. Again, if it becomes a big part of my business, they do make an applicator that will actually put this tape on evenly and make it easier so it doesn't stick to itself. But I like using the small one because I can manage this very easily and just keep layering them. Or if I'm just doing that simple Stahls STV logo here, that's perfect for that. So if I'm just doing this in strips and I'm just gonna mask them all one at a time like that, that makes more sense. I don't have to do a whole bunch of cutting around and everything like that. But I can layer it on top of the other. So smaller tape in layers does make more sense to me than having one great big sheet.
Workshop Wednesday. That's it.
Okay. All right. Hey, I appreciate your time here today. Hopefully this helped. If you're a sign guy, you may have looked at me and said, okay, I think this guy has a lot to learn. But if you're kind of new to this and you're a decorator, this is a great introduction to pressure-sensitive sign vinyl, Cadcut sign vinyl. I do want to mention that Workshop Wednesdays are still in full force. May 23rd is our next one, and it is Vinyl Cutter Boot Camp for the Roland GS24, the same cutter that we used here today to cut the sign vinyl. These can be visited at Stahls, Arizona, Stahls, Corona, Stahls, Florida, Stahls, Michigan, and Stahls, Texas. So they run from 9 to 12. It's a good time to get a lot of good feedback from those particular shows. Don't forget Pattern Sign Vinyl launches tomorrow, so get on there and see what you can do. I appreciate your time. We will talk to you again.